wants to work when it should. Testing. Oh, that should be moved. Ah, well, close enough. Drove downtown in the rain. 9:30 on a Tuesday night. Just to start up a crazy streamy stream. Should I make another post to say it's going? Guess I should, that's what you normally do. That's not the right button, that's the wrong button. Do. Come on, chat thing. Where are you? I can see things. I can see something on my screen. Good day, Pat Prowse. Don't know why, but I kind of know why. I just got a little warning that said, hey, we're having some problems with this chat thing. Might have to restart it every once in a while. And I'm like, no deal. No deal. Oops. Yeah, I should get that other light. All right, I don't know why it's not working. Oh, that's not the right button. And intro. Oh, there we go. I like your Jurassic Park Jeep. What was that? New or just the figure? Hey, camera. There we go. And not too delayed. Everything's fine. Changed everything around a little bit. So I have access to the rest of my room. I can set things up a lot quicker. And there's not as many things in the way. And I'll probably just, have these guys bring their own furniture. Yeah, sorry to surprise you, but it seems kind of silly to move a whole chair in and out of this room through some weird French doors once a week just for a thing that's not even there. Why not just make up a chair for them? And two, I could just grab a stool. Next time I might just either grab the stool or give them a fake stool. Either way, I went to the electronics boutique today, or EB Games. Probably nobody knows it as electronics boutique anymore. And I'm like, is that Ellie? Is that Ellie in the thing? You fit under the camera. And yeah, it's Ellie in there. So like out in the other room, I've got Grant and Mr. John Hammond. Too far. And course, Jeff Goldblum with no shirt off here. I'm a juice. I don't want the Chris Pratt or the whatever that lady's name is. Those two characters from the new movies. But I wanted her to complete the set. I've never really felt the need to complete a set like that before. But this time I was like, no, I want the whole gang. I want the whole gang. Oh, and I got Nedry as well. Oh yeah, there's no Samuel L. Jackson. One of the Velociraptors should have an arm with them, with the white sleeve, but whatever. I don't work at the Funko factory, and I don't want any more. When I put this down on the counter, I was literally like, all right, this is the last one. I don't want any more. I don't want this one. But you put her in a Jeep. They put her in a Jeep for some reason. Tires don't move. These boxes don't open up. And of course they don't. Funkos are not known for the posability or the reusability. That's about it. They're basically an adorable little statue. But this is like, oh man, like barely get her head around a little bit. But so many things that could open and move that would be amazing. But regardless, I've got the whole family as best I can, but not the dinosaurs. Because Funko dinosaurs. Oh, and that was the other thing. I'm like, I'm not paying a ton of money for something like this. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, it was on sale for $20. So I'm like, well, I've accidentally bought a Funko Pop. I don't think it was this one. I think it was the Bob Ross, where I'm like, ooh, I need this Bob Ross. Like, scoop at the counter. Like, anyway, like, that will be $18. Like, that'll be what? What are you talking about? I usually only get them when they're on sale for like $7, and I only have a few. But yeah, at least one of them, like I said, I think the Bob Ross was like, are you kidding me? It's almost $20 for this, and super tempted to put it back. But at the same time, I'm like, I've been looking for this Bob Ross figure for about 3 days. And now I see it again. I'm going to grab it while I have a chance. I'm at a store that wouldn't normally sell toys and action figures, so of course it's going to be more. But I did not expect it to be almost as much as an Ellie in a Jeep. In a Jeep. So anyway, I walked around the electronics boutique around the EB Games for about 10 minutes thinking, I gotta go home and set this stuff up. I gotta go home and get the things ready for the thing. And instead I'm like, I'm not here to buy toys. I'm just here to pick up an eraser. The store where I already picked up the eraser is way at the other end of the mall. There is zero need for me to be in this video game store at this time. But there I was, and it was the only one. It was the only one. The box was already kind of half opened. I mean, even look at the box. The box itself is like, oh, geez. I know, so cumbersome, Fantacan. So cumbersome. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah, on the back here, we got the whole family, like a little drawing. It's not going to fit under this camera. But there's also a regular Ian Malcolm, which I saw before, and I was very tempted, even though I already have the shirtless Ian Malcolm. But this one's got sunglasses, which makes it real cool in that suit. But yeah, I'll probably still have to get one of the dinosaurs eventually. But other than that, that's it. That's it. All right, we don't need a ton of toys everywhere. But if you go down to the EB Games, you don't need to go in disguise. If you go down to the EB Games, you can get one of these guys. They're bound to be there and probably on sale. The Jeep might just be your wet whale, your white whale. But if you want to go Moby Dickin' for toys, EB Games might be your teddy bear's picnic that you want to go to. And as per usual, I did not pick any reference photos. What do we got? What'll make a good robot person? What do we do today? Is there a nice robot lady who's just regular way? And she just needs some gears and joints and a big old glowy thing where I don't know, but we'll put it in somewhere. Ding ding. Why don't I just move this slightly closer so I look a little less crazy. Okay. Don't have as many pictures on here as I thought. A bunch of pictures of Sam's cats. A bunch of pictures of Tim in his drag outfits. Lots of dinosaurs. Some Jurassic Park people. Drew it. Drew all this. Oh, I never did this crazy Star Wars one. Let's do this one. Let's do this crazy pose. All right, I'm not exceptionally. Wait, there we go. I don't know. This paper looks both too bright and not bright enough at all. But that's one of my faults, one of the downfalls of drawing with red pencil as I do. Oh yeah, you can see that real good. Idiot. Oh, there it is. So as always, on No Such Thing as Grown Ups Draws Things, when you're drawing things, you usually want to start with some structure. I notice that whenever I start with structure, I will often get caught up with other things and start drawing the shapes that are there, especially if I'm randomly talking and telling stories at der same time. I think for once I meant to draw some even lighter, like just stick person structure lines so I wouldn't run out of page. And I didn't, because I always forget to do that. And I think through the air across the ocean for the first time ever, I'm going to have enough page. Oh, the hubris. Oh, the grandeur delusions. Do not get cocky, kid. Not on this, several days after the 4th of the May. Come on, kid. What did I tell you about getting cocky? Kid, what are you doing back there? Are you being cocky? I will send a Wookiee back there, and they are known to tear the arms off a human man and then eat him. And no, I didn't watch the Han Solo movie that, by all rights and logic, should have been the coolest movie in the world. A young, cool Lando Calrissian, as played by the childish Gambino, and young Han Solo, played by anybody with the right writing, should be able to pull off the coolest character in the world. A not so young Chewbacca, but like the needing of like, or just like, hey, we've been friends forever. Like, yeah, still friends forever. But spoiler alert, one of the few things I do know about that movie is that like Chewbacca's just basically murdering and eating people. Like his whole life, as near as I can tell from what I saw, what I heard, until the day he meets Han Solo. Like, whoa, hey, let me give you a name. I think he might name him. Like, let me call you Chewie because you're always chewing stuff, and then I'll lengthen that to Chewbacca. I don't know. His name was probably He already had a new name. He didn't name him because we saw Yoda talk to him back in episode two, three, The Rise of the Attack of the Clones. See, why did I put that boot detail or marking there? Am I still on screen? But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Everything that I saw about it was like, this looks like the most non-movie ever. Like basically a reference to some movie that kind of happens in the future that happened in the past, but instead of just being the coolest character movie ever. Like The Mandalorian, if they make that, that will probably end up being what this movie should have been. But again, I don't know. Boba Fett used to look like the coolest character and seem like the coolest character because he didn't say nothing, so he had that drive power where it was like, ooh, he's so silent and mysterious. Anything could be going on behind that helmet. We don't know. He or she could be the handsomest creature with the smartest ideas or an idiot. We don't know. Nobody knows. And that was great. And then episode whatever that was, 2, 3, The Rise of the Phantom Menace Sith. When we saw little baby Boba Fett. Hey, Dad, Dad, Mr. Fett, Dad, it's me, your son, Boba. Yes. I named you Boba Fett. That's not a cool bounty hunter name you came up with. Your name is actually Boba Fett. It means nothing. It's just your first name and your last name. So there goes all that interest and mystery. Thanks, Dad. Thanks. Are you going to be an even cooler, old-timey version of me? Like as if a Boba Fett grew up in the 70s and was cool? Like you're the shaft of the Boba Fett family, right, Dad? No, not really. I'm just a little more shiny. A little more boring. I miss a bunch, about as much as you. We're both kind of terrible bounty hunters, son. Sorry, Boba. We're the worst. I wish I could say you're going to get better, but you're a clone, so you're not. This is the pinnacle, basically, of what you can be. Anyway, go do your Mandalorian alphabet. But as we all learned in the movie business, clearly that if you're going to, give an origin story of a character, especially one that's beloved and cool, the absolute best way to do that is anything but going back and showing that kid as a 6 to 8-year-old, or especially as a baby. Don't need to see that. Don't need to see that at all. But for some idiot reason, everybody gives all their money to those movies, so then they're like, well, we gotta do it again, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, Aquaman still looks like the dumbest movie in the world to me. And I'm sorry. It probably is super fun. Like, I guarantee if I watched it, funnest movie I watch all summer. Like no doubt about it. But it looks too fun, or it looks too fun. I don't know where I put my quotes there. But you know what I mean. It looks like a fake movie. Like, it looks so much like a video game that, again, like, I'm not even against that. There's just something... There's just something so fundamentally dumb about Aquaman as a character that I have a very hard time going, yeah. I'm going to go watch the Aquaman movie and I'm going to enjoy it for the reasons I'm supposed to. And I know that I can't. I mean, it's a whole movie about Aquaman. I don't know. But again, everybody says it's super fun. Of course, everybody also says that Shazam is like important to the superhero movie genre. It's like also the best. And oh man, I was kind of looking forward to that long before it came out, and now I'm like, hey, um, all these trailers, already show me the movie. I don't care anymore, but it clearly shows me that, yeah, the kid is like a serious kid that's like trying to deal with his issues, but then when he turns into Shazam, he's a child. And that's not how Shazam, like, I only know Shazam as like, I'm a child. Hey, mister, I just want to do the right thing. I'm somehow from the 40s, no matter what time period I'm in. And, uh, and then when he's Shazam, he has the wisdom of Solomon or the wisdom of Shazam or whatever that is. And he's all like, all right, let's just take care. Like he's still, I don't know, he's still a kid's mind, I guess. But he seems to come across as a stoic, like, pure-hearted hero. How you're supposed to see Superman. But in that movie, it just seems like big. And I'm like, I don't want to watch a kid who looks like an adult buy beer and then figure out his superpowers and then do some awkward things where like adult ladies are like, oh, let's date. And he's like, oh, should I? And you're like, no, this is uncomfortable for everybody. Uncomfortable for everybody. Queen Pinna. Why in fun's name is your name Queen Pinna? Now, I don't know. Listen, everybody, hey, Space Goonie, Pat, remember all the times I talk about my crazy friend who's crazy and we went for the cab ride. She talked about how we stabbed somebody, but we didn't stab anybody. But yeah, Shazam is basically Big. So if you want to watch a superhero version of Big, you'll definitely love Shazam. Like I said, I still kind of want to watch it. I bet it's super funny. But anyway, I'm pretty sure this Queen Pinna is my super best friend that Amanda and I talk about all the time because nobody else calls me Flav except for old Johnny C, who shows up on here sometimes, and Manderson. Wait, no, Manderson's somebody else. Manders. Dan the Murderer 6. Oh, snaps. Sometimes some crimes are murder types of crimes, but these two gumshoes will not deal with those. The murdered Dan the Murderer is number 6 on the list. Chip and Dale, Murder Files, Chip and Dale. Hey Dan the Murderer. But yeah, no, seriously. Amanda, is that you? Who's Queen Pinna? Pinea? That's probably something from The Last Unicorn, isn't it? Is that a Last Unicorn thing? Guys, no, I don't know any Last Unicorn things. Are the children watching? Are you watching this with your children? Queen? With the prince and the princess? Little mash? Little potatoes? How are you, children? When you need help, just call Chip and Dale. In the classroom, drawing pictures of mountaintops. All for the love of... Okay, I don't know what's going on with my chat thing today. It's all over the road. So you guys have been talking for like the past 9 minutes while I've been making up songs. And I mean, you could call me Flav if you want, but pretty much 3 people in the world call me Flav, and that's fine. Oh, I believe that was an ambulance, Pat. Uh, Momo. 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 Okay. Let's talk about that real quick because I forgot I wanted to talk about that. Um, but if you're trying to, are you momoing right now? Are you trying to do a momo task, Dan the Murderer? That's not how you spell it. But yeah, the before we talk about Momo, remind me to talk about this thing because oh my god, I've just been avoiding it for the long. Like it's just like the Momo thing or whatever. Like ugh, that's gross. I don't want to watch that movie or game or whatever it is. I assumed it was another one of those like Five Nights at Freddy's or just an app that's scary but still cute and adorable for kids. But then I was watching stuff on YouTube, and then it auto played like the next thing on its own that I didn't pick. And because of whatever I was watching before, it was like, well, guess what connects to this? The story behind Momo. I guess I'm going to tell this first. And if you don't know about the Momo, and I assume this is the Momo that Dan the Murderer 6 is talking about. You've definitely seen like pictures of it here and there. It's the oh, Dan the Murderer is Momo. Cool. Hi, Momo. So anyway, a bunch of weirdos pretend to be Momo, and they send people messages and give them basically tasks to do that either hurt themselves or hurt other people or just really weird stuff. And then this particular video said that a lot of times, awesome, Pat. That's why Pat's my hero. And then yeah, so it's like this is so beyond a game. It's so very Scream. You know, you want to play a game or Saw-ish, except it's all psychological. But the character that goes with it that I've been seeing, and I assume it's CG. I don't know, maybe some sort of mask. But it's the most terrifying thing in the world. Like anybody, like I'm not listening to any ghost period. Like literally, if my dad floated through the wall, I was like, "Hey, buddy, listen, listen, man, Curtis, man, I want you to like, I'm your dad. Like, yeah, yeah, of course you are. Do anything for you, buddy. Do anything for you. Anything. It's all I want is make sure you're safe, make sure you're okay. You know, take care of you, your brother, your mother. You know that. Like, yeah, I know that. Like." Why do we have to go through this spiel every time we talk about anything? Like, I just got to make sure everybody's taken care of, and you know that I care and I love everybody. Like, all right, Dad, what's up? Like, anyway, I want you to call some of your friends, threaten them that you'll cut yourself if they don't cut themselves, and I want you to cut yourself. Like, Dad, like. Even with your all-knowing, I assume, ghost powers, and the fact that you're my dad, and you just said you would, you want nothing more than me to not be hurt, and blah blah blah. Therefore, you must have a good reason for this. Like and if anybody, any magical ghost being that I would trust, you would be the one that I trust the most. I'm already pretty sure you are here. If ghosts are real in this creepy haunted old hospital of dead babies, apparently. And nurses that killed themselves out of terror of dealing with so many dead babies, which we've talked about before. Hey man, did I tell you that when you were staying here? Yeah, I think I did. Anyway, yeah. I already think that he's protecting me from other bad ghosts and momos if they are a thing, but for the most part, it's just a thing. Anyway, like I said, it sounds even worse than I could ever imagine. I just thought it was a scary looking game. Stream always takes a dark turn, Space Goods. It always for a minute. Now back to the lighter side, the flavor of things. So, why indeed? Why anything? Oops, I started drawing. This is a real person, and that's not what we're doing. Let us. The joys of parenthood when you finally get a little bit of time for yourself and a whole couch, and no kids are going to be like, "Mommy, please, Mom, I'm so thirsty and bored." You don't have to keep saying Momo. But anyway, the not so secret history of the name Flav is it's bizarre. Even in the fact that Amanda uses it, or Queen Pinna uses it, is almost even crazier. Okay, I'm just trying to decide how I want to deal with the front of her hair, so it still looks like robot hair. Alright, we'll do something with that later. So anyway, the Space Goonie or Pat, anytime you feel like you want to deal with Dan the Murderer, go right ahead. Or Dan the Murderer, stop. All right, that's your thing. You can either talk with the rest of us, walk with the rest of us, grunt and squawk and squeal with the animals, but just saying the same word over and over again it makes you a fantacan. All right, so feel free to wield your swords, sword wielders, against those momos that indeed dare to mow. The second mo being much. You have no power. Maybe I have to do it again. Oh, you don't. He's over a mixer. Oh, I guess you're just there. All right then. Do I have power from here? Oh, thanks, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I forgot this is multiple things. So you guys almost don't even have to deal with them. So anyway, thanks, Dan. Okay, we want to put some crazy shoulder dealies as per usual. Yeah, I don't. I'm not like logged into anything. I'm logged into a third-party thing, which I don't think gives me any powers. Oh, yes, I do. But anyway, turns out I could block you on my own. So as long as you want to not Momo and just have some fun, then we're all good. But yeah, next time I'll make the threats. So yeah, I'll tell you the quick secret history of the Flav, and then a little bit of craziness at Maniac Mansion still, oddly enough. Very surprising, but it happens no matter what. Robot fingers. So way back in high school, of all places, a long time ago, galaxy slightly far away. I don't even remember what year it was. Maybe it was the first year of high school. Cannot remember. Possibly second or third. But you would go from class to class, and in each class, each teacher would have a little box of cards for each student. And they'd flip through each card and go Ferris Bueller style, like Bueller, not here. All right, Susan, here, whatever. And he would, have a grid for the whole month or the whole year, however many squares it had. That's beside the point at this point, actually. Not before that, you go to high school, that was the system of taking attendance. This is how basically the teachers knew you, and for most of my teachers, I don't know why, I have actually a whole bit written in a book about this, of like stand-up stories that I've never done anywhere, but one of them is the story of no matter where I go, no matter what I do, for some reason, for most people, my name is impossible to get right. Damn it. That really threw me off again. He said he wouldn't. He said he wouldn't, but whatever. So either way, at least I can't see it anymore. Put some little floppy things here, but that's not necessary. So anyway, that was the attendance process. Unimportant. One day, every day, me and a group of my friends would meet up in the lobby of high school. Yeah, high school. And pretty much like almost every day around the same spot, we would kind of stand by this pillar before school started as each of us got there at different times because of different buses. And there'd be a bit of time like, hey, did you see the shows last night? Yeah, the shows were great. Oh, good show. What about this thing? Yeah, that thing was great too. Hey, I played a sport. Oh, that sport is awesome. But hey, what about you? I don't understand your sports. All right, next. And one day, I believe it was while we were there, an announcement comes over the thing. And I'm like, ugh. 3-pound chocolate bar. All right, it blocks him from here, but it doesn't block him from there. Damn it. Gonna make me get up, aren't you? Gonna make me get up. Can't see what that says now. For the love of fun. All right, 1 second. Ripley, could you take the screen for 2 seconds? Where are you? Nope. There you are. Hey, sweet angel. We gotta take care of some technical difficulties over here real quick. Drove downtown in the rain. 9:30 on Tuesday night. Got Ripley to use her thumbless hands. Use her thumbless hands. She went to the internet. And she logged in. All snaps. Alright. Now, the fun thing here is these are to be logged in. Perfect. Most of the keys on my keyboard are... Oh, what are you doing? Okay, all right. Yeah, I know I'm live. I'm trying to deal with... Oh, man. Now, the fun thing here is... Sweet. It's a lot of gold. Now then. Done like dinner. Thanks, Ripples. You truly are the sweetest angel. Get on the internet, set up a Mixer account. We'll have a great time. Take your shoes off. Crunch your fingers in this chat carpet. It'll be a good time. Draw some sexy robots. Everyone's having fun. Oh, farts McGee. Phenomenal cosmic powers in an itty bitty living space. Sync. Good enough. Good enough for us, right, Fantacan? Okay, so, as I was saying, oh man, you just want to have a good time and not have a crazy person. Just be a jerk. You just want to have fun and don't be a bum. farting in people's faces. So, um, yeah, as I scroll back through Mixer, it seems to be mostly just trolls saying horrible things. Um, but anyway, so the the announcement comes over the PA, and I'm like, ugh, 3 pound chocolate bar. Like, I don't even want to win a 3 pound chocolate bar. Like, maybe if it had something inside it or whatever. Like, that's like a chocolate Easter bunny. I'm not into the super solid, just days worth of chocolate. Um, I'd rather it had Rice Krispies or like a ton of like Big Turk jelly through the middle of it. So my friend John, who also watches the stream every once in a while, he's like, oh, you need flavor. I'm like, no, I'm not saying I need it. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, have the thing. I'm just saying, like, I don't want a 3 pound chocolate bar. 3 pounds of chocolate doesn't make me excited. Like, like, definitely people were like, oh, I gotta get some tickets. Like, a 3 pound chocolate bar. Like, you could just go to the store, get a bag of chocolate bars, have a variety, and still a pile of chocolate. I know this is for to raise money for the school or whatever, but these people were excited specifically about the chocolate, and I'm like, I'm not excited about that much chocolate. Whatever, it was a 30-pound bag of chips. Like, yes, I'm gonna get excited. I'm gonna want 30 pounds of chips to just eat all of them. So that's my jam. That's my jam. And and I wouldn't eat 3 pounds of chips. I would eat the 30 pounds of chips in a sitting, or at least within a day or two, and that would be disgusting. Um, but I would. Not because I want to, because have to. So John is like, you gotta have the flavor. Flava Flav here got to have the flavor. It's Flava Flav, everybody. Nobody's paying attention. It's just me and him. But he's like, hey, check it out. Flava Flav showed up. Hey, what time is it, Big Clock? It's Flava Flav. Flava Flav's got to have the flavor. And I think at this point I'm like, I just barely know who Flava Flav is. He's not on reality shows. He's just a guy in Public Enemy, I believe it is. And I'm just like, that's nuts. Like, what are you even talking about? It's like, no, it's all Flav here. It was Flava Flav. Like, all right, that's enough of that. Like, no, that's you. You're the Flav. You're the Flav. It's Flava Flav. So that's the easy part of the story. Hey, you're Flava Flav. Okay, simple enough. This will last for, maybe most of the day, as these things tend to do. This wasn't the first time. It's not going to be the last. Let's have fun. So then start going to class. And it is the beginning of the year, but it's not so the beginning of the year that the teacher should already forget my name. But at least one specifically, but several on occasion would, for some reason, and I get it. Most documents, people write last name first, first name second. Yeah, everyone's organized by their last name alphabetically. That, I get it. All right, I understand the system that you are using. But for some strange reason, especially back home in a town where there's thousands of people with my last name, a lot of these people at the school are related to me and telling me stories about my own family while I'm just trying to learn science. Thanks for the story about you and my dad going to get water from the river to whatever, use it for the bathroom, whatever it is you're going to do, and you fell in the snow. Good story. Get back to science class. It's embarrassing. I don't need this Fantacan knowing all my childhood. I don't know any of these people's childhoods. But that's what high school is sometimes. But the teachers who were not related or friends with my parents as kids, for some reason, could not accept that my first name was Curtis and my last name was Carey. All the time. All the time. They would look at the attendance card. They'd go through everybody's name. Sally Johnson. Jody Johnson. Steve Claremont. Carey Curtis. It's Curtis Carey. Yeah. And then the next person, like, you didn't notice what I meant that you said my name backwards. You're not going to know that, and later on you're going to be saying something else, and we're both going to feel weird. What's going on here? Oh, I see. So anyway, there was that thing I was already dealing with. So John decided at some point during this day, for at least a good handful of classes, he would try to go to the class before me, find my attendance card. He wasn't in these classes. He would go into the class, find the attendance card, erase out my name, and write Flava Flav on it. Now, he only really got a chance to do it, I want to say, with two different classes, and one class was at least somebody who knew John and was like, oh, that wacky scoundrel, like, him and his pranks. Like, anyway, you guys, boys will be boys, you and your fun. Like, anyway, I'll just change that back or whatever. Like, do. It was in pencil. Everyone was begging for it. But this other class, however, this guy was already calling me Carrie. Or Corey. You don't happen to mean Carrie, sir. And by Carrie, you don't happen to mean Curtis. If that's backwards, does it say Curtis Carey on there? Because it should say Carrie Curtis, because my first name is Curtis. Is this getting confusing? Because I don't know anybody with the first name Carrie except for that girl over there. And then I'm a boy. I know a bunch of Curtises. Curtis seems like a normal first name to me until I moved away to New Brunswick, and then it all went out the toilet. Into the toilet, back into the toilet. Because, hey, around here, Curtis is a last name. And there ain't no such thing as Curti. I'm like, all right, I get it. Yes, I don't belong anywhere. So John manages to get in there, get his hands on the attendance card, changes it to Flava Flav. Now here's where the trickiest part of changing my name in the school system. Surprisingly, it's not getting your hands on the attendance cards and changing it. That's apparently a lot easier than you'd think. I mean, it mostly consists of going to the desk and doing it while the teacher's head's turned or pulling them from a drawer, what haves. But if you write the words Flava Flav with letters, and you expect somebody to read the words Flava Flav that you've written with letters, and you've never heard of Flava Flav, I still, for the life of me, am like, I don't know how this makes a thing, but Flava, Flava, Flave, Flav. Other than, well, there's an E, so it will be Flav, right? But mostly it's just like goes down the list. I don't think I realized. I'm just like, all right, he definitely didn't do it in this class, or maybe whatever I thought. And then, yeah, the teacher's just like, Flava, and he's just like, he couldn't say it. Meanwhile, all I can think is just like, oh, yeah. school is all nonsense, and some of these teachers are just maniacs who have a job and they will read whatever you put in front of them because this guy knows he should know that there's no flava flabs in this class. You would have remembered that. You would have remembered having this conversation with at least a few of the classes that we've had before that, hey, did we not discuss these weird words on my attendance sheet here? Also the fact that, hey sir, hey geography teacher, whose name, it'll pop in my head eventually later on and I'll feel crazy. But hey, Mr. Geography, who I already really don't respect at all for a minute, you're kind of the worst person in this building. But I think I can use that to at least get at least get decent grades and get through this. I won't know geography. You won't get fired. I'll pass. We all win. But whatever. I did all the geography stuff, retained none of it other than meanders and some other like lake bed names. Actually, I don't think meander was one of them. Maybe it was. So he's desperately trying to say this thing, and I'm just like, yeah, I think that's me, sir. And he's just like, well, how do you pronounce this? Like, what's this? Like, that's not my name, sir. Like, is that your handwriting? Like, that's not your handwriting. A friend of mine is kind of trying to play like a trick on me and change my name to that. It actually says Flava Flav. That's about it. And he's just like, what? Why is what? Huh? I'm like, anyway, like that's not your handwriting, dog. That's not your handwriting. All right, don't get mad at me. You just tried to take attendance to some weird handwriting that is clearly not your own. What? Like, can I borrow your checkbook for a minute? Because I think you wrote a bunch of checks you forgot about with a weird signature that you don't have. And we're both going to be okay with that because you're out of your mind. Like I said, never liked that guy at the beginning of the year. Never liked him anymore at the end. Might have had him for 2 years. Can't remember. Hate him. Mostly because of the fact it's like, hey, Mr. Whatever, we've been doing this for a long time. Feel like I'm not an idiot in this class. Get answers right. Do pretty good. My friend Derek over here somehow keeps being just horribly evil during the class and magically managed to push all of whatever he's doing, the air of doing it onto me. So I was like, oh, like you there, what are you doing? Like, how is it I get in trouble so much because of him? And you think that he's literally the greatest guy in class, like praises him up and down and whatever. Like Derek was awesome. But at the same time, it was just like, my grades are basically the same as Derek's, and he's actually the one throwing stuff that somehow you think, ah. Anyway, hated that class. So that carried on for like the rest of the day, most of the day, to a point where towards the end of the day, people that I didn't know, but I did know that they were John's friends who I didn't know from some of his classes, were specifically coming up to me, which they had never really done before, like, oh, hey, you're the Flav, right? Like, just specifically, like, hey, it's you, the Flav. Hey, it's that guy, just like that, I forget if it's like a Captain Morgan commercial, I believe. Like, when you're going out drinking with the captain, they put those posters up around town of the three guys. Hey, it's the three guys. It's a picture of these three guys. And then they get to the bar, and people are like, it's the three guys. So by the end of the day, a handful of people were going, hey, it's you. It's the guys, it's the Flav. Like, what's happening? What's happening? This is going on a lot longer and further than these things normally do. And this is bananas. This has been bananas. So, I don't know, maybe the next day, maybe a day or two, literally just like one other guy, Sean, would call me the Flav, which is one of John's friends, but I never really saw him, even though he was in a few of my classes. Like, we just kind of didn't really cross paths. He's actually friends with Amanda, and I believe a cop now. Even though back in those days I was like, man, this guy's going to jail. But turns out he's going there to work. So, that happens for a bit. He continues to call me Flav for the rest of my life. Like, still 20 years later, whatever it is, 25 years later, I'm still the Flav to him. And around the same time when he started calling me the Flav, Amanda and John were becoming mortal enemies. I think it was partially just for fun. Partially, part of it might have been a battle over me, battle over some of our other friends, where it was just like, I don't know, man. Be enemies, I guess. And I believe it was partially, possibly somewhat out of spite to steal it from him, but I don't think Amanda was in on the feud. I think John just had her as a mortal enemy. It was a lot of like big sister, little brother stuff that, whatever, I wouldn't understand. Not that they were big brother, sister. But anyway, within the art class, Amanda was older than me, so her and her friends would also just pick at me every art class all the time. So they were like in the grade ahead of us. We were in the grade previous, but we shared a room because there was only a few people, and they just decided like, oh, he's the most, he's not going to fight back. This will be fun. He's just an adorable little guy. And yeah, so for class after class, Amanda and Megan and Joanna would sing Turtus, Turtus, rah, 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 Turtus, Turtus, ha, 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 I love Turtus. And it was other than the fact it was like, the word turd is in there, but the rest of it's pretty nice. Either way, I'm just going to do my work and whatever. And John was like very protective of me. Like he was, basically my, he was bigger than me. And I'm just a little Curtis. So he definitely, took it as like, no, like you don't mess with Curtis. Like I've got his back. So yeah, he was super mad. So there was kind of a quiet feud. And it's hard to share. I actually kind of thought I was going to miss tonight's stream because I thought I was going to go hang out with Amanda's brother, with Queen Pania's brother, and John tonight or last night or the night before. But having plans is hard. So anyway, within the Turtle song, the Flav thing got added in there, and then yeah, just years and years passed, and still that one spread to another friend, Kareen, who I haven't seen in a long time. But every time I do see her or she pops up online, she calls me Flav, and that's so bizarre to me because it's like, oh yeah, like there is another, and sometimes names just stick. But I do enjoy the fact that it's just those people that say it. So then I kind of, if I hear it, I know it's about me or the actual Flavor Flav's around. And I know who it's coming from. But when I go to, conventions to sell artwork and whatnot, I'm Sexy Dinosaur Guy, which I also enjoy. I started to sidetrack into something else. And then I forgot. I was trying to get back to this, and I did. and I wanted to jump back to the other thing. But anyway, meanwhile, I guess back at Maniac Acres here, what kind of crazy stuff has been going on? Just a little bit changes everything. So as we discussed a few weeks prior, a few of the maniacs were kicked out. One of them left, one of them refused to leave. She was forced to leave. Police left again, and done. And then I figured, like, all right, it's gonna be quite some time before I look out these windows or out my peephole and I see several police officers and cars. Definitely at least a few weeks, probably, for sure. Okay, that's weird. So I forget which day it was. Maybe it was during the week. It was like whatever it was, like a day after. Yeah, because that was a Tuesday that happened, and I was like, wow, how do they know it's Tuesday? I did the stream, told you all the crazy stuff, and I want to say it might have been Wednesday, maybe as late as Thursday, when I look out the window. It looks like it's gonna be a nice. There's a bunch of cops here. There's 3 cop cars and like 5 cops here. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear any kind of commotion. Nothing crazy's going on as near as I can tell. Like what's going on? So looking around the building, always first thing is just like, are they looking for bombs? Are they looking for bombs? No, they don't seem to be looking for bombs. And then go to the peephole, see what I can hear or see. Feel like I could hear some stuff going on. I'm like, I don't know, no idea what's going on. Maybe it's kind of done. I had a bunch of plans, but now I'm kind of like, I don't want to go out and walk through whatever that is. I don't know where they are in the building, but I had like step 1 was like I'm gonna take out the garbage, and then something else I can't remember. Then I think that was when I tried to get a haircut, but the day I was like, they're closed. Yes, so it would have been Wednesday. And then I went and did some other errands instead. Whatever it was, I had a list of things, but for once they were all things that happened outside of the confines of the apartment. I'm like, well, whatever. They've had their time. They've been out there being cops for a while now. Like, I finished my work. You know, it was well after 5, I'm sure. So I'm like, well, whatever. Doesn't sound like trouble, so maybe it's safe to just take my garbage out, start doing my stuff. So also, hey, if I want to see what's going on, and it is down on the front step, I gotta go walk down to the front step, and taking out garbage is a pretty good reason. If anybody is like, what are you doing out here? Nose it around like, just taking out the garbage, man. Just taking out the garbage. Totally normal, totally legal. I live here too. I'm not eavesdropping on anything. So I get downstairs, and lo and or behold, when I told you last week that, you know, there's several different kinds of crazy people in the building. They're the people that were kicked out. They're just like, you're out of control. You're, you know, screaming just at 0 people in the hallways and, you know, throwing things and just being maniacs, wrecking your apartment. Like, they've been fixing the apartments forever. And it's just like, what kind of damage do these people do? And then the other kind was just like, hey, just a couple that hates each other and just scream at each other, you know, once or twice a week or more. And they live right next door, but for the most part, I don't really hear them unless it's in the hallway or in my bathroom. So those were the only people that were like, oh, that's the only other place where no peace and quiet comes from in this building. Little Jetson's mouth here. All right, let's get some head action. So I'm sneaking around with my garbage. and I go downstairs, and they're like right on the step, like they're just blocking everything basically. Bunch of cops on like each step. Cops by their car. Cop walking around on the phone like I don't know what it is. Just doing that whole thing, like just concerned jabber. Um, and it is the lady from next door is down there talking to the cops, and she's got her dog, who's way smaller than I think that dog is. Um, so I come through with my garbage. They look at me like this is completely normal. One guy kind of definitely looks at me like, "Hey, haven't I seen you before? Like, yeah. The last 6 times you came to check on the other people, and I was still in the hallway when stuff was going on. Because I feel the same way about recognizing you, police officer. I shouldn't know, other than because I live here." And at this point, the only thing I hear is, "Listen, like that's just how it is. Like I'm from Jamaica. I'm Jamaican. This is not me talking. This is her. I'm Jamaican, and that's the way we are. Like we take care of things. Like if there's something that needs to be taken care of, like we do it. We deal with it. We take care of it. And like, oh my god, what is she talking about?" So I at this point I genuinely I don't know. I don't know. Like, is there a dead body in the apartment next door? Like, did she finally kill her boyfriend? Is that what it means? What did she take care of? Cause I've I've heard them talk, and she don't take care of nothing. Like they can't decide who's the one who borrowed $100 from Lily, and she's still there, and he's a maniac. Like, oh, this could mean anything. And also, the police are just kind of like, like just listening. Like, what do we do with this information? Where it's just like, or is this the reaction of like she's just standing here telling us how she murdered him, like in Lake Placid when Betty White was like, "Oh yeah, like my husband was crazy or whatever, so I hit him with a frying pan and buried him under the step," and they're like, "Yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes." Am I right? Like, is that one of these situations? Because I'm not saying she's wrong. Like, you know, I definitely thought this would end with one of them being murdered either on purpose or accidentally. So, at this point, that's all I know. And like, I have no way of getting any more information because I'm already heading back into the apartment. I've got like, I don't know, 20 seconds to gather as much information as possible. Stop on the step for just a second, to pet the dog. Like, "Oh, hey, good boy. Like, can you sit? Can you sit?" And he didn't want to sit, but I'm just like, "Oh, like you're a good boy." Like, um, I and I said that to the dog, like, "Hey, you're way smaller than I thought." Like, anyway, do do do. And one of the lady police officers says, like, "Oh, he is a good boy. He's like such a good dog." And the lady says something, or right before I said he's a good boy, and the cop said good boy. The lady, who I don't know, again, was she being arrested? I don't know what was going on. She's like, yeah, like I called my daughter. My daughter's coming to she'll come take the dog. Like, what is going on? Like, she must be definitely going to jail then, right? Like, she's looking for somebody to take the dog, and the boyfriend isn't taking the dog, so he's got to be dead, right? Um, all right. Mouth turned weird. Some more signs. Um, so for a minute, I start to think, yeah, the way the cop lady is saying, like, oh, like, it is a good dog, right? Like, are you trying to get me to take this dog so you guys can, get back to taking this lady away? Um, yes, a little bit, Mr. Packroyd. So I go back inside. That's all the information I have. I'm texting people like place is surrounded by cops again. Lady is downstairs. All I heard was she took care of something and somebody's coming to take the dog. So obviously like something like she's going away or something. I don't know. And almost before I can hit send, like seconds after I hit send, the answers come to me so easily, just getting screamed through my walls, through the halls, through my door, into my core. A whole bunch of blue Sadix. Yeah, definitely got a job. I started doing I did one on Instagram there that I wanted to be like just kind of crazy, but like, oh, I gotta do a stream. I should do that. So I just kind of did a quick one. But yeah, I want to do some more weird looking Sanics. Um, then uh, I hear her screaming once more, just like I was already so familiar with. Um, Actually, no. Screaming doesn't start first. Starts with a loud, loud bang. Loud bang. Always starts with the loudest banging in the world. Like, whoa, whoa, Marty, what's with all the banging? You're banging me back in time. Um, then hey, Boxy Fox. Then the screaming that explained everything. Why the banging? Why all the police? She screams like, I don't know if she said his name. It's just like, that's it. She's like, I'm out of here. It's over forever now. And I can hear him being like, yeah. Like, are you gonna open the door? Like, no. Like, I clearly don't care and never did. I've just been waiting for you to leave forever. Kind of attitude. Can clearly hear her gesture towards the cop at the door with her, like, see, that's what I mean. That's what he's like. That's why I'm out of here. I'm out of here. If you're not gonna open the door, like, that's fine. See it ever, and like whatever. Calmed him down for a minute, and the police are like, all right, like that's fine. Like he gets the idea. Like let's leave. Like there's no other reason to be here if he's not going to open the door, and whatever. So like this is insane. Like literally all this lady is doing is like breaking up. But I think maybe he refused to open the door before that because there was some banging before that actually. And I'm like, I don't know what it was about. I don't know where it was from. But clearly it was them like, hey, let me in my own apartment. And he was like, no, not doing this anymore. I don't know how else to do things. So I'm just going to lock you out. So then, like I said, so the cops are still down there forever. And like, I have things to do. And then the daughter and I presume her boyfriend shows up. And it's just like I see this lady there and it just looks like the most beautiful version of this lady who looks crazy looking. Like she looks crazy looking all the time. Not ugly, not monstrous, just crazy looking. Whenever I see her, like the alarms were going off, and I've never seen this before. But whatever the guy was doing to fix the apartment upstairs, it set off all of the door alarms that are on each of the apartments that make the loudest, craziest modem dialing up and noise that you've ever heard. Nobody uses the door buzzer because it's just crazy. All of them, the whole building started going off, plus the regular fire alarm, plus whatever alarms could go off. except for the smoke detectors, because why would they? There was no fire. So she's just like, like, open some windows, open some windows. Like, the guy was like, no, it's like, I did something, like, I set off the alarms, like, I called, they're gonna come turn it off. And she's like, well, turn some, open the windows. And he's like, that's not gonna do anything. The girl across the hall is like, is there a real fire? Is there a real fire? I'm like, no, I've never heard this sound before. This sounds like more like an alarm problem than an actual an alarm to a problem. And again, the construction guy said it's his fault, and we just have to wait. I was like, but it seems that your door alarm, there's a little reset button. So if you reach up above your door, you can turn that off. So if we turn those off, it quiets down some more. So I turned mine off. She turned hers off. The lady in the hall comes screaming at me like, "How tall are you? Are you tall? Could you press this? Turn this off." To the smoke alarm. I'm like, no, it's not. Your smoke alarm is making zero sound whatsoever. It's the door alarm, but hers was a lot lower, so I'm just like, boop. See, that's the most we can do right now. But then they kept going off again. But I was like, I got a ladder. Anybody needs a ladder? I can help. And then everybody just disappeared. Like, all right, fine. You guys would rather yell? You're just going to yell instead. All right, cool. I'm going to go be quiet because it's not going to do anything. But you're just going to yell and think that that's going to fix things. Excuse me. It always works, so why not? Everybody just scream about, you got to get to work. You got things to do. You can't deal with this right now. I work from here. I can't deal with any of your sounds ever. Ever. And I don't go into the hallway screaming about it. Maybe once I did. Not screaming, but singing about it. I'm fun. So, whatever. That was, I forget why I said that. For last time she screamed at me for whatever reason. Oh yeah, because she seemed crazy, and yeah, so it's like crazy person. Um, so eventually, the daughter shows up in a car with the boyfriend. The boyfriend is like adjusting the car to like make room for stuff, like to make room to, she didn't. Like, I think she only had like a bag with her to go. He wouldn't open the door anymore, and the dog. And now clearly it wasn't. She's not getting arrested. I know now. And the daughter isn't coming to take the dog. She's got to take her mom, who she definitely doesn't want to take, and the dog. So the boyfriend has got this look on his face, and I can probably demonstrate it pretty good because he had my face. He had like a longer, more scraggly beard. He was like slightly scragglier Curtis, which most people seem to be. And he was like like whatever he was like folding down or folding up seats or moving some things, but he's just like in that way when it's just like that's not a real smile. That's what your face does when you're exploding inside and you're crying, but you're surrounded by cops and a lady that's about to come live with you who's, the kind of person that's surrounded by cops in order to move from one place to another. But the daughter, on the other hand, like I said, like a beautiful version of this girl, and I'm also like, like, hey, that that's she's already with Curtis, right? And I'm definitely the cleaner version of this guy. And I tell this to Amanda basically, not that I'm actually like, hey, I should go date that girl. It's just like, hey, the crazy lady has a hot daughter, and Amanda's like, yeah, but crazy mom though, like, yeah, like that's always how it works. And then I said something like, and the boyfriend is like a bearded, glasses Curtis nerd, and she wrote something like, ew, like, hey, like I think I put my name in that description. um. So yeah, like I said, mostly usually spending my time actively trying not to join any families. Oh yeah, I forgot what I was describing. So, aside from the beauty, she was to compare her to a summer's day, she looked like Denise from the Cosby Show, who is unequivocally agreed upon across all of universes and countries that she's just the prettiest lady of the world. And then this lady looked like that, and that's why, mostly nostalgia, I'm sure. So so Denise has got her keys, and she's like talking to the mom and the police. The mom was like, "Yeah, like so this is great or whatever. Like, so I'll go with my daughter. I got my dog. We're gonna get in this car. Hey, like, family, and like, the boyfriend over here, he seems so cool with this. Like, here, take this bag, put it in the car." And he's like, "Yeah, this is great." Oh no, this was a Friday. It was a Friday because I remember saying. This is definitely not what they plan to do this weekend. This is 1000% the opposite of what they plan to do this weekend. And he's trying to smile his way through it. She's just like, just like, don't show any emotion, but her hand is shaking. Like, shaking. And I'm like, oh, this must be. I was like, oh, wait, no. Her mom didn't just get arrested. She just broke up with her boyfriend. She's clearly the only thing she has to shake about is this crazy lady and her dog are coming to live with them. And, and knowing that she's not the kind of person that just says, "Hey, excuse me, daughter. Here's what I was thinking. Excuse me, Fanta Can. I was having a thought. Thought I'd share it with you for a minute. Would you like to share some thoughts for a minute, Fanta Can?" No. She's the kind of person who says, "Fanta Can! Why? When?" For most situations, really. Seen her walking her dog. "What are you doing?" It's a dog. It's slightly walking away from you. It's tied to you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you acting like you suddenly don't know this dog? Why does everybody suddenly act like they don't know their dog once they take their dog outside? So that was the interesting part of that. A bunch of cops needing to be there for like, hey, simple breakup. I don't want to be here. We yell about it every weekend. And no. Gotta go and make things complicated, Avril. Gotta go and make the things so complicated. So then, deep into my brain of thinking powers, I think and I lock in the fact that, well, that's it then. That's it. It's quiet time now in the building. I can probably take a nap any time of day and not have people suddenly scream things or night. And it's just quiet. It's just quiet now. It's just quiet now. We already discussed the fact that the lady downstairs was like, hey, I'm so excited to not have the need to call the cops all the time on the people screaming because they're gone. And you're right. And then the last of the crazy screaming people was like, I'm out of here! In the loudest exit possible. Like, fantastic. See you never, baby. See you never. Uh-oh. I don't know. I still got green, but I know that Twitch freezes. Twitch has problems all the time. As near as I can tell, it looks okay. But anyway, like I said, just you and your garbage in the woods internet. Get better internet, jerk. What was it? I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting. There was another thing where I'm just like, oh, cool. Great. But I can't remember what that was. Some kind of weird, awkward thing. It'll come to me. But then, again, already decided, locked it in. My building is done being surrounded by cop cars now. There's no reason. There's no, at least for the next week. All right? Next week, I will not be able to turn on my stream and say, hey guys, here's this week's story of the police showing up. crying softly with his eyes, crying them softly. So then, I guess it was yesterday. Today's only Tuesday, right? So then yesterday, oh no, Space Goonie, there's no such thing as no more stories. There's no such thing as grown-ups. Therefore, there's no end to these fake grown-ups and their stories. They just keep happening. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future about things that happened in the past. Gotta get back and help out Jack. Jack. Yesterday, in the glory that is, it's Monday, it's the beginning of the week. I think I got my work under control. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna make some things, and nothing weird's gonna happen. It's gonna be a quiet day today. And then all of a sudden I can hear like, that's some slightly perturbed talk coming from the backyardish area from the parking lot. So I look out the window and there's a guy like kind of gesturing and talking on the phone like, this kind of thing. And I'm just like I can't hear him. I can just hear that there's a perturbed energy coming through my walls, through the air, across the ocean. Not the first time ever. Wind is crazy today. So at first I think like, oh, he must have lost his dog because he's not with his dog. And I'm pretty sure he was with his dog a minute ago because there was a dog barking, and I'm pretty sure it was him. So I must be calling, so like, oh, the dog took off. And then all of a sudden a guy comes out of nowhere and he's like looking under the car, and I'm like, oh my god, the dog must have wedged itself under the car, and why he's calling somebody, I don't know, instead of getting under the car and getting the dog, but this other guy's getting under the car to get the dog. But then a cat comes out. Meow. And away he goes with the cat. Like, all right, so I guess that was it. He still seems upset about something. And I'm like, all right, so the animal under the vehicle and whatever he's doing right now are two separate things. 'Cause he's still not happy. But whatever. I got a life to live. I got things to do. It's none of my business. So I go back to my life and doing my things. Time passes. Suddenly, similar but different. I hear, and I look out the window again. All the cars are gone. Parking lot is empty as can be. And there's like two ladies sitting on like the edge of the parking lot, like back to me with the dog. So I'm like, all right, I guess it wasn't the dog because there's a dog. Or they found the dog and now they're overwhelmed with whatever energy it took to find the dog. I don't know. They look, again, still upset. I have no idea. Again, still none of my business other than the fact that they're far enough away that they should be able to have a conversation without me feeling like somebody's yelling at me, from a floor away. But that's me. I take all noise to heart. So once again, go back to work, blah, 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 bling, 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 blah. Suddenly more noise. This time, I'm like, what's going on? This is my building surrounded by cops again? It's only been a few days. Why? Why is my building surrounded by cops again? And again, I'm just like, is it a bomb? And I go and I check my car. Like, is somebody wrecking cars? Like, is it spray painted? What's going on? You know, should everybody in the building be aware of what's going on right now? Is anybody going to come up here and tell me, hey, do you have a car here? Like, yeah, that one. Anyway, ruined. So, car looks fine. Again, these people just look distraught and upset. Like, who would do such a thing? Why would somebody? But you know, I can't hear like when they do it in the building, and I've got no garbage to take out. So there's not much I can do. A little bit of time passes. That cop is gone. Whatever. No, how did it work? Yeah, no. First, it was just one cop car. We weren't surrounded, and like two cops, kind of walking around the parking lot, talking to the people, taking their notes. I'm sure I could have wrangled together some recycling or some garbage to come up with a reason to go outside. But again, I don't think it would have been long enough or adjacent enough to get information. I was same distance from my window, but I didn't want to be like jamming something to hold the window. Oh, hi, I'm not trying to listen in on this. Is this awkward? I'm clearly looking straight at you and making the most noise to get this. Sorry, the window is super loud, but I'm trying to be real quiet. Just don't notice me. If you guys could talk a little louder, that would super help me for next Tuesday. So I didn't open up the windows so I could hear better. But then, yeah, police clear out. I hear a car pull away. The ladies disappear. And I'm like, all right, I guess it must have been, you know, nothing that concerns the area. Because somebody would have come up and said, like, hey, all the cars were broken into, all the whatever was whatever. And none of that. But then, like, minutes later, I look out this side of the building, and there's two cop cars, like one on the street, one like circling around my building, and another one on the next, like the other corner of the street. And I'm just like, okay, like I don't know what's going on today. I know, but I'm like, I keep saying like surrounded by cops, but now the building is kind of surrounded by cops. Like they're actively circling it right now, and there's a couple down there. Like, are they searching? Like, did those ladies this morning send them on like a search for somebody? Is this a Robert Stack situation? There's no way for me to know. Short of going out there going like, hey, excuse me, officers. You probably know about No Such Thing as Grown-Ups live stream. No Such Thing as Grownups.com. Sexy dinosaurs, robots that... Yeah, I don't need to tell you, officers. You definitely know. But as you also know, I tell the tales of the Truro police every Tuesday. So if you could just tell me what's going on in my jurisdiction, let's call it today, so that I can regale your story later on in the week, that would be wicked helpful. And I won't lie, it super crossed my mind to like, I'm just going to go out there and ask them what's going on, because I mean, why not? I'm not doing anything wrong. So might as well, you know, like, hey, am I safe, if anything? Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk or annoying to the police. I genuinely want to know, is everything cool? Excuse me. Is there just doing a coolness check? Everything as ice? AI? Right? Cool AI? Awesome. Thanks, officer. But I didn't. Because, whilst thinking I would like to go see what's up or ask them. The cops all moved. They left. They weren't in the building. There was like two on either side of the other street, and another one here, and then another one switched spots. And I'm just like, what is happening right now? They just keep kind of changing spots with their cars. Like, the last few times I'm like, what's going on with here? A parade went by. So I'm like, all right, awesome. It's usually a parade, but this one really didn't seem like a parade was going to break out. So then, I don't know when this happened. Maybe I don't stare out the window constantly and catch everything. Sorry. I'm not as nosy as it seems. I get one story a week and then I walk away, and the rest happen at me whether I want them to or not. This one was one I had to actively pull the information from outside. So I missed some. But from my perspective, all of a sudden, I look out and there's two cops. There's one car and a dude with a backpack. Like, just looks kind of, I don't know, like just a schlubby. Like, I've just been slacking around, going to get some snacks, going to go back home to play some video games. Like, didn't like from 50 feet away. Didn't look showered, but didn't look like a crazy person. Just somebody who probably just went snack shopping. And the only reason I assume they went snack shopping is because on the trunk of the police car was like I want to say like 2 cans of Red Bull, not Red Bull, like Rockstar, and maybe a can of Pringles and some chocolate bars, and I think a bottle of water or two. Just mostly an assortment of what looked like snack drinks and foods. Normal. Except they were on the trunk of a police car while the police were like, what about this? What about this? And the guy was just like, like, he looked kind of destroyed, not a whole lot of energy, and I assumed he must have been feeling real bad because he got caught shoplifting from the grocery store just across the street. And maybe this is where they're trying to get him to admit that he did it because he's already out of the store. I don't know, because they were talking forever, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is. Like, this is just a show, and again, like, I want to walk down there and be like, what's going on, guys? From where I am, I don't have good enough reception, and I can't hear the show, and you're not, this is theater, guys. It's theater. You got to overact a bit. You got to act with your body so those of us in the back can still understand what's happening. Gesticulate for me, all right? Some of us are in windows in our towers of judgment, judging what's going on, and get the story across to the rest of us. And then, of course, sir, we're not all here putting on a play for you, and that's where you're wrong, sir. Everyone's just here putting on a play for me. So they weren't, at all aggressive about it. Like, it seemed so laid back that it was like, are you just a couple of friends hanging out? I don't know, discussing snacks. Or maybe, oh, hey, my friends, the officers, I knew you'd be over here. I brought you a handful of snacks. Let's splay them out on the trunk of the car and then look like I'm a bad person while we talk about them. Like, that's the other thing that was like, it also looks like that. I don't know. Like, guys, microphones. I don't know. So then they shot him and ate his snacks over his body while they gave me the finger. Like, we know you can see us. Give me the finger. And I'm just like, see, like that. I know what you're doing. That's how you act for the rest of the audience out here. And they're like, whatever. And they called me a pig, oddly enough. Like, what? No, then again, like, because I'm living my life and not actually watching this constantly as a show, I'm not a 90-year-old lady. They I missed it, but suddenly they were gone. So I think that they must have thrown him in the car and taken him away, or whatever. Oh no, that didn't happen. First, yeah. So one cop left, another cop showed up, and like there was like always three cars around, and oh for sure, I bet I could. Oh man, if I took some cameras down to the police station, I could definitely get 1,000 stories. I'm sure. All of them magical, hilarious gold. Yeah, once this other cop stopped, driving around and came over, then finally, like they were both like, I guess, writing tickets. They were taking notes. Um, so once again, I still don't know if he's the one who called the cops. And I don't know, maybe he got jumped. Maybe somebody tried to rob him, and this was like they took my reusable grocery bag, and now I'm just left with all of this stuff. But he wanted to go shopping, but he didn't want to pay the 5 cents for a bag. And he didn't want to steal a bag from there, so he stole one from me on the way in. I don't know. Again, possibilities are endless, but the body language suggested that no, he did something, and they caught him. So yeah, it looks like they were writing him up, and then I assume they took him half a block down the road to the police station because then they were just gone. But there was still like two or three cops like kind of guarding either side of the street. So it was like, like what's happening right now? Are they watching for something specific that again, should I know about this thing? Should I also be aware that the Sasquatch or the Wendigo is coming to murder me? Like, is there a Jason Voorhees about? Is that what we're looking for? I don't know. Oh, snaps. I've been talking for a long time. So then, yeah, like that's mostly where the curiosity gets piqued. Where is this a Halloween the movie situation where it's like horrible stuff is happening and nobody said nothing, and you guys are actually police? Like, what's up? What's up? If you think you can't stop it, tell everybody. It's out of control. We don't know what's going on. Gremlins? Hey, there's gremlins. As near as we can tell, start murdering as many gremlins as you can. That's all we got. Police out. Um, and then, once again, as quickly as they showed up, gone. And it was like, all right, that was weird. Like for once, I was surrounded by cops for this was like for a while. This is why I didn't see everything. Like they were just parked out there for the longest time, and it's just like I without going out and asking them, I can't possibly figure out why or how this happened. And that's the real tragedy of of these stories, of that specific story, is the fact I'm like, I don't know the real ending. I'm just Robert stacking up stories over here. And, if you're not 40, Robert stacking ideas means just building up more unsolved mysteries for people to ponder and worry about. Like old Bobby Stack used to do. Bobby Stacks. Because it's Bobby Stacks and his mysteries. He's got a story for you and for me. And Bobby Stacks and his mysteries. He doesn't know what happened, but he'll speculate on TV. And that was the official theme song for Unsolved Mysteries, I'm sure. We all remember that theme song. So upbeat for such a terrifying show. All right. Princess Leia robot hair. Put a few metal details there. And you know what I did today? Damn it. I think I already said this. I went to the store and I got an eraser. Is it as good as the last eraser? I'm going to say I doubt it, and I don't know. So far, so good. Except with these erasers, I find that they very quickly kind of just become a big vinyl crayon of whatever color you were already using. Oh my god, is that the time? Focus. And I remembered the other story was, yeah, it wasn't a bunch of cops for once. There was another, there was some other reason. There was... Oh, no. Then the lady from next door, I think she came back to get stuff. Or at least the daughter came back to get stuff. Excuse me, but the daughter just sat out in the car. While I assume somebody brought stuff in and out, I just noticed they were there and it waited for noise, and then the car was gone later on. Nothing. It wasn't a pile of cops that time. But it's late. You guys have got to get to sleep for sure, and so do I. But yeah, next Tuesday. We'll put some marker colors on this, and then we'll draw some Sonic the Hedgehogs, probably. That's not what I want. I kind of hate leaving it without markering it up, but I'm too tired. I didn't have the energy to start this stream. And I'm surprised I made it this far. But honestly, if not for the fact that we got an Ellie in a Jeep. I probably wasn't going to do a stream at all today. But then I got that, and I got excited to have another Jurassic Parky thing in the back. Surprisingly, I didn't do a dinosaur. But there's definitely some other stories. I got my hair cut. No stories there, but I was telling the haircutting lady some of those stories, and she was like, "What?" And I'm like, "You've heard stories just as crazy as this, lady. Don't act like this is actually that crazy. I'm giving you like the least crazy stories, honestly." The other one was no police, but gas station. There's two separate things. One was I was pulling into someplace, maybe that was the gas station, and there was like parking spaces this way, parking spaces this way, and I pull in, and there's like 3 or 4 spaces to the right. I wasn't even thinking about parking in any of those spaces. Not even a consideration. But I did have to drive by the cars that were in those spaces to go to the other spaces. So one of them started to back up, so I stopped and waited and thought, I'm either going to pull into that space once they pull out, or when they're done doing whatever they're doing, that maybe they're straightening up the car because they don't seem to be leaving. I have way too much time here to think about what they're doing. What are they doing? And finally, I waited and waited, and then they stopped, and I realized, well, they're not pulling out. they definitely weren't straightening up the car because it was straight when I got there. Like, it was straight as they were pulling out. And what they did was, and you'll find this crazy Fantacan, they went into the parking space straight, and they had the same car as their other friend's car, and they're two friends, whatever they were, don't remember. And then he backed out, and then specifically, like, took, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 adjustments to diagonal his car across 2 spaces, possibly jutting into the other space. Where I'm just like, are you kidding me? Did this really just happen? This is really happening. And I pulled into my space, and I go in, and I'm right behind them, and it is like 2 groups of just kids, basically, like just dirty teens. So who am I to be like, oh, you dirty teens? I'm that old man from when I was your age that would just yell how I disagree with what you just did, even though to you guys it's fun or whatever, interesting, and it doesn't actually affect anybody because there's we're other parking spaces, and shut up, old man, you're an old man. Oops. No. Accidentally hit a key, and computer's like, hey, do you want to delete everything? No, don't delete everything. So I'm just like, that's banana garbage McGee. And I get so tempted to just be like, for real? And then I didn't. Because again, they were already like, we're dirty teens. Let's get giant soda pops. Like, all right, I don't need this. They're not gonna care. And it was just like, this is just bananas. Like, I just watched you purposely. You definitely must have seen me. One of you in the car must have saw that like somebody's waiting to drive by or park there, and you were like, nope, not today. But when they got out, it's just like, you seem like just such little polite nerds. Like, you know, you're having your fun, you're joking around, but you just don't seem malicious. So it's like, whatever, fine. That was garbage McGee. Then the other one was... Okay, yes, so I have 3 things then. I guess I could have put markers on this. Let's just start, just for fun. Just do a little bit of shading. So the other one was not a parking story. That one was at the gas station for sure. So I get my juice and I think probably some chips, and I go to the counter, and then there's a guy over in the little coffee station area where it's like, hey, Keurig? Yeah, Keurig style, like you put the cup thing, make coffee, and then there's all kinds of sugars and whatever, and the guy's like taking forever. It's like, what is going on over there? That's weird. Like, should I feel this uncomfortable? Does this make me a bad person? He doesn't seem homeless, but he is acting quite scroungy, inappropriate for indoor behavior in an establishment where things cost money. You know, classic dirtbag. But I'm just like, whatever. Not here to judge. I'm getting a bunch of snacks that I definitely don't need instead of going to the gym. Oh yeah, I was putting dark stuff in there before. But anyway, I'm just standing there with my stuff, and the store lady is just watching him, and I'm just like, all right, so this is what we're doing then, huh? Like, are we a team? Are we a team now? Because I'm on your side, but I'd like to, like, Mrs. Pummelhorse, I'd like to get down now. I've already picked out what I want, and I've worked real hard to have the money to pay for it, and I'd like to do that and not feel, like this is a crazy situation. So the guy interrupts my train of thought by interrupting her watching him, and he's like, "Hey, like I couldn't get a bag, could I?" And she's like, "Yeah, I guess you can have a bag." So she goes to give him a bag. He's like, for like this extra stuff here or whatever. She's like, what? And so he's making like 1 cup of coffee. And it's like, all right, like maybe you're going to carry some sugars with you and you want to put it in a bag or whatever, I guess. I don't know. You seem slightly encumbered with your life and or the things that you're purchasing. So he's like, yeah, I need a bag. So he starts like loading up like a good fistful of the Keurig cups, a bunch of stuff. Like there's a good section of this bag like just full, like a nice good heavy pile of stuff. So the store lady is like, whoa. She's like, that's you only one per cup of coffee. You use that to make the cup of coffee that you're making. You don't take more of those. You can have some coffee, or you can have some like sugar and cream or whatever. But yeah, like you don't. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna take this for whatever. Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. So he says like, yeah, in that way where I'm like, I've seen this before. I've seen 1,000 people just say, and when I say 1,000 people, I've seen my dad go, oh yeah. I understand what you're saying, and then finish doing whatever he's doing, in spite of the fact somebody just said like, sir, you can't do that here. Oh, I completely understand. I definitely can't. Oops. Anyway, you just give me 10 more minutes. I will complete my task and I will make fun of you when you are out of earshot, or I will say something mean to you to your face. So I expected like he's either going to be cool with it, he's going to just say, "Yep, I'm cool with it," and then continue stealing. So he was like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, of course I can't steal as much as I want." So then he puts like, another like 2 or 3 in the bag, and she swears under her breath like, oh, and I'm like, oh, cool. So it's just like that story that I told either on the podcast that I haven't uploaded yet or last week when the teachers would be like, hey, you're an awesome teacher. First class of the day, last class of the day, you're a monster. I'm getting last class of the day, teacher. Out of nowhere. You were definitely happy a minute ago, and now that you're being robbed right in front of your face, you're like, oh, what do I even do? I don't want to deal with this creep. So instead, she's just under breath, she's like, these people like, well, that's it. Like, he's just going to take some, and who cares? Like, deal with it. You don't actually care that much, and it's fine. So she's like, oh, geez, like, sorry, like, realizing, like, you're not part of this crazy vagrant stealing group. You're trying to purchase things. Like, I sure am, but I'm like, yeah, no problem. I understand. And this was, like, the day that a bunch of police were around the house or whatever, / the day after. So I'm like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, I understand. Like, my apartment's been surrounded by cops, like, literally for days. Like, I'm not even joking, just surrounded by cops, people that are supposed to leave, refusing to leave, other people just screaming for whatever reason. Just cops all the time. It's like, this is my life, is people like him, I don't know, just being dirtbags. And she's like, yeah. And then she basically starts telling me stories of other people like him coming in and taking things or trying to take things, to a point where suddenly we're just like, we're not treating him like a person anymore, are we? We're just talking about the general whatever this is, dirtbag phenomenon that happens in establishments and just in public, and how crazy this is. But the fact that it's like, you kind of have to deal with this. Technically, I shouldn't have to, but it happens in my home, so that's what it is. So, we have that conversation for a minute until he finally makes his way up. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. I'm not necessarily here to keep you safe, even if something did go down. But like I said, like, he seems to be going through this business. You're clearly just going to let him steal a good handful of stuff, or she's about to charge him. And that's going to be heartbreaking when he tries to put his change together. And again, to be honest and weird at the same time, for a good chunk of time, I was like on the tip of my tongue was like, how much is whatever he's doing right there? Like, let me just pay for it and just tell him it's cool, it's been paid for, and send him on his way when he comes up to the counter. But again, because it's the coffee area and I don't understand anything that goes on in the coffee area, even with a bit of generosity in my heart for somebody who's, having a tough time, I'm still just like, can't deal with coffee, can't deal with the whole coffee system. Whatever number you say is going to blow my mind. And I have a slight feeling that he's not going to understand the idea of, no, you can have that. I paid for it. Then he'll just go and steal more because it's like, oh, it's taken care of. I was like, no. I took care of the mistakes you were making, not the ones you were about to make. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'll go on my way. No need to friendly neighborhood Spider-Man today, or most days really, but gotta do it. And then finally, just today, went out, got myself a generic Artist's Loft eraser from Michael's, a Jurassic Park thing. Got some other stuff too that I either forget. Some other art supply. Must be in the other room. Don't remember what it was. Oh no, got more. I got more erasers. So went out, got some things, ate myself a pita instead of making my own, and came back home. And after just so recently having those dirty teens do that weird parking deal right in front of me, right to my face. The way the parking is here, back here, just a big parking lot. Yes, there's a parking lot, and then there's a drop off of about a foot depending on where you are, and very very often people get to the edge of that and they go over the edge, and then you just end up turtled. I don't know what the word is for cars when you're teeter-tottered, so neither of your wheels can touch. I don't know how it is that I see somebody and they are doing it, and it's like there's nothing I can do. Like how it is I keep catching it is amazing, but it's like there's 0 seconds for me to say stop, and I can't get through to them through the window. So anyway, like I said, parking lot lately is mostly empty, and I think there's just one car at the far end, way over there, room for, let's say, 9 to 12 cars back here. And then we come around to this side of the building, and then there's, let's say, 6 to 7 spaces. And mostly it's me. I started parking there so I can see my car at all times. And then the lady that lives right below me, and the lady that lives next door, and that's it. Those 3 cars are mostly what's there. And when I say mostly what's there, most of the time, it's usually just my car and the other lady's car. So tons of space there, tons of space back there. Why am I saying this? Why am I explaining this? Don't look at me like that. Today, get my erasers. I come around the back side of the building, come around to slip into my parking spot. Normal, super wicked normal. And I'm like, ooh, oh, that's crazy. Somebody decided to stop their truck, just blocking everything. Like there's just enough room for me to slip into where I normally park. But other than that, if the other lady comes back, she can't get to where she normally parks. If the other lady wants to leave, she can't go. Just like you just park, not even like close to the step, just like in the way, like in the most way possible. When in fact it was like if you had pulled into these, 5 available spaces, everybody would have room, and the truck that you were unloading stuff from apparently would be actually facing in the direction of the stairs, so it technically would have been easier. Like it would have made more sense for everybody, or at least I don't know, why aren't you closer to the steps if that's what the purpose is? So once again, I immediately same brain activity as the dirty teens pulling in front of me like a weirdo, like weirdos. And let's do this one. So yeah, immediately the brain activity goes to Um, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Did you really just do that? And of all, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, I know, it doesn't matter. I can wish as hard as I want for when whoever it is comes out to seem like somebody who I can say, couldn't find a parking space, or not couldn't find a parking, that's too direct. What was I thinking? It was, oh yeah, it's pretty hard to find a parking space around here. I know, it's super hard, but maybe good luck next time, and walk by like, just the most annoying, stupid thing that a person could do. Just be like, no, I don't want to be that turd. They obviously parked there for a reason. What do I care? Keep going with your life. And odds are very good that whoever it is, you know, is not going to take too kindly to my delightful brand of sarcasm. So, I get my wish anyway, and the person comes out before I can get in. And also convincing myself, like, why get upset anyway? I had room to get to my space, and they probably won't be here that long. No big deal. So, I'm getting out of the car, got my stuff, and where else did I want to put purple? This lady comes out with, I don't know, let's say three. Let's be wicked generous. I'm gonna be super generous. All right, super generous. I'm gonna say five. I'm gonna say five teeth. Okay. She comes out. She looks me right in the eyes, and it's like she already knows. She already is aware that she parked in the worst place possible. Because the first thing is like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You clearly had a reason, and whatever. Like, I see how many teeth you have from here, so you get a pass. Whatever you have to say, you win. You win. All right. I can see the decisions you've made, and that's the place where we are. All I need for when you finish saying you're sorry, this one sentence is for you to not say, anyway, I just moved in. That's all I need right now. That's the only thing that I need from this conversation is you don't live here now, please. Oh, God. And she says immediately, as though reading my mind, like the weird witch lady she was. Oh, sorry. She looked 1,000. She's like, oh, sorry about that. And I was just moving, but the truck was full blown empty, so I didn't think, like, I haven't been gone that long, so nobody just moved in. But yeah, she's like, oh, just moving my friend in. Like, all right, crazy. Like, out of all the people, who's moving in up there? Like, I guess you own the truck? Because why else would somebody call you to help them move? You're a 1,000-year-old lady. So a 1,000-year-old lady moved up those stairs? Like, on the third floor, I assume, where the other crazy people moved? Awesome. That's going to be great for her. So, no, I did not see the friend. I get in and I see a dude moving a microwave. And I'm just like, hey, expecting, nothing. You're busy carrying a microwave. Who wants to talk while they're carrying a big old microwave? And he seemed significantly less hillbilly-ish. And for some reason, I didn't ask at all. I don't know if I said anything other than, hey, how's it going? Or just, hey. And for like, I can see you moving stuff. It's all I need. You're moving stuff in. Either you're the friend or you're not. I assumed you're not the friend because that lady was 1,000, and you seem like you're like, I don't know, 32 to 48. out of nowhere, he's like, blah blah blah, moving this, and he's moving things at the same time, but not like with the ease of a Law and Order, moving and talking John Mulaney bit. He's like laboring and trying to get up these stairs, and then like. Really need to roll my eyes at somebody over here. Got nobody to roll my eyes at. I can't. Do you really? Are you at the dentist right now? I can't understand a word you're saying, but I feel like it sounds like it has the connotation. No, it has the inflection that it's inconsequential, superfluous information that I don't need to know. It doesn't seem like I'm going to see you ever again, probably. And then he says. Oh yeah, he was muttering basically something about like, oh, I work all day, and then I gotta do this after work. Oh, can you believe? And I say, yep, I sure can. Such is life, or that's the way life is. You work all day, and then you do something else at the end of the day, or else you're dead, right? Like, or else you're dead because you're alive. You're alive, all right? So either you're a unicorn or you're moving stuff. That's what we do. So he gets up there, and then. In a weird, I don't even know. It was complainy, but at the same time, just like, why are you even here then? And slash, I don't need this information at all. You can just say, helping a lady move in, helping a friend move in, helping a person move in. I'm moving a microwave up the stairs. I'm just walking by, right? Why can't somebody just walk by Grover without Grover going bananas and saying and doing things? Like, don't Grover me, guy. Don't Grover me. We're not Muppets. I'm just gonna go to my place and then I'll never see you. I'll never see you. It's just like, yeah, I'm just moving my ex in. I'm moving my ex in upstairs. My ex is moving in. I'm moving her. That is weird information. Now I have a puzzle piece. Now I have an effing puzzle piece to your life that connects to a person that I don't know. Someday I'm going to see her. She'll say a thing. She'll say blah, 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 my ex, and I'll know it's you. And then she'll say another thing. And then I'll have all these puzzle pieces to a person who I just got rid of a crazy person. Again, thankfully. It wasn't the lady from downstairs. But who knows? Who knows? It could be anything. It could be anything. But I was walking like, you're carrying a thing that you can't handle carrying. It's obviously the last thing, so I'm not offering to help. You're done. This is the last thing you need to move. And if I just a few more steps in this direction, sorry, buddy, then we're done. We don't need to. Why are you turned around? You're busy doing a thing. Keep doing that thing. So. That was the other weird thing. Mostly the I'll twist your back like mine, Gage, or whoever the Pet Cemetery lady was screaming at. That kind of lady came out, and that terrified me. But as always, every week, everything that I see becomes a story to me. And Tootsie Rolls and turtles. I love turtles. Rah rah rah. Anyway, oh man, it's almost 11 o'clock, you guys. I have a job, Fantacan. You guys go to bed, get to your jobs, raise your kids in the morning, make your Disney cartoons, whatever it is you're working on. We all do other things. And hey, if you're just a jerk troll and you can't come up with anything more fun to do, like just at least come up with an interesting story, whether it's made up or not. Don't just keep repeating one word. That's the worst. Yeah, sometimes I gotta get out of the chair. Maybe I'll just bring the mouse over here and I can block things from here. But anyway, go be good people. Always be good people. Don't cause trouble on the internet. I know it's fun. I used to always cause trouble on the internet. Not terrible trouble, just general, but actually, guys, things on Hood's weird. On social media posts, but it's just so much better to do your own thing and put that out there rather than just keep throwing darts at other people's balloons. Don't pop other people's balloons. Just don't. Don't tip over people's Fanta cans. Just enjoy. Enjoy whatever you want. Anyway, I'm going to play the credits. We're here every Tuesday. DoseJustThinkersGrownups.com for those of you who are not trolls, or if you're a troll who wants to spend a bunch of money, I'd gladly send you a bunch of sexy dinosaur books or poetry books or whatever it is you're into. Simply go up there and listen to the podcast. It's more of the same, except I talk to a real person instead of a Fanta can. Moxie Fox, who's probably already gone. Anyway, credits. It's number 3. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's the cops, and they're here. Situation's weird, so there's 3 or 4. And they've steered you down a path to get you out of this building now. That one didn't go anywhere. It's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. Tell your niece. Robots and cats. Robots and cats. That's what we do. Then we Instagram it. Instagram it just for you. Instagram at Dinosaurs Grownups.